with all the latest big talking points, news and discussion from the football world. This is Football Central. Hello, good evening and welcome to Football Central. Tonight is a slightly shorter show, but it's still a show nevertheless. So we will still bring you the team news to tonight's game, Manchester United v Istanbul, and I'm joined tonight by my fellow co-host, the slick, the always and smooth, Mr. JLIWheels. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are we doing?
I'm good, thank you. What did you think of that?
What was that?
What did you think of my introduction to you?
Yeah, but not quite a Sam or myself standard, but sure, we'll go there. Just quickly, just before we go into the team news, I did have a question about something that's happened, obviously, really prevalent in the news this week. Maybe it would be a discussion for another time. But I just wanted very quickly to get your thoughts on the news that fans will be allowed back in Tier 2 and Tier 1. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely in the lowest tiers, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
what do you think about that?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just wanted your opinions.
For me, I mean, it's absolutely brilliant because although obviously, you know, there's still some way to go, but you know, I mean, not all the stadiums will have been prepared for this probably, so there'll still be some setting up and some checks to do, but yeah, I mean, it's certainly really, really good news. I mean, football is nothing without fans, fans chanting, and, you said it yourself, obviously, singing Blue Moon, and, well, we've all seen Anfield, haven't we, when You Never Walk Alone, and Old Trafford, when I went, of course, also had a really good atmosphere and always does. So, yeah, it's really good, good seeing. It'll be the first steps of seeing fans back into football, and it'll be quite weird because after getting used to having no fans, but no, it's absolutely fantastic news. It is.
Yeah, I am used to no fans now, to be honest. It will be quite a strange adaptation, but
yeah, although I'm not sure because London, I mean, Chelsea probably, well, the tier, I don't think, Chelsea, City, United, I don't think those will have fans to start with, but potentially I was looking, well, something like Burnley, maybe, which for the sort of lower sides and and particularly the League One and Championship sides, that's great because obviously fan revenue is it's the biggest thing for them, the ones that don't get on TV.
Yeah, it's huge. And just very quickly as well, just a reminder that on Saturday, the mighty Crew Alexandra will be on TV. Well, they'll be on the iPlayer in the FA Cup against Cheltenham Town. That's the only sad thing about fans being back is I know that Stoke and then possibly by extension, obviously the borough in which I live in, which is Cheshire, of course, will probably be in the higher tier and maybe won't be able to get fans back in. That being said, it is good news, and I'm going to hand over to yourself to do the team news.
Right, thank you very much, JLIWheels, and yeah, we could perhaps discuss that potentially on Thursday or Friday's show. Well, actually, sorry, just before we go, Friday there is actually a Premier League game, so perhaps.
What's the game?
It is. I will just quickly look now. It's Crystal Palace v Newcastle. That's at 8 o'clock. So we could maybe do. Friday. I mean, 10 till 11, maybe.
I could just about do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Anyway, we'll have to. We'll
have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Anyway, tonight's game is Manchester United and a team which is absolutely nightmare to pronounce. I'll just say Istanbul, and I hope that they don't get to play them for a very, very long time, because they're absolutely a nightmare to type, because my stream software doesn't allow copy and pasting. So anyway, the team news. So we'll start with Manchester United. It's David De Gea in goal. That surprised me. I thought Dean Henderson was going to get a go, and a lot of things I was reading thought Henderson was going to get a go. So that's a shame, I think. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is starting at right back. I mean, again, I was seeing a lot of people thought Brandon Williams was going to be playing there, and to be honest, I'm not really. I think Wan-Bissaka's declined, I think, this season. So I may have changed my mind about him. I'm not sure. Then it's Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, presumably to make the defensive duo in central defence. Alex Tellers is at left back. Then it's Donny van der Beek and Fred to make up the midfield, with Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford and Edison Cavani on the bench. Well, the Champions League, you can include lots more people on the benches. I was counting Chelsea's bench, and Chelsea have an absolutely great bench. We'll get on, we'll update you on the Chelsea score, actually, in a minute. So, Juan Mata, Mason Greenwood, Lee Grant, Daniel James, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Odion Ighalo, Dean Henderson, Pelistri, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he was one of the new signings on deadline day. He's a youngster. Nemanja Matic, Brandon Williams, Axel Tuanzebe, and get in Teddy Mengi. It'd be really great for Mengi to get some minutes on the pitch, but you'll have to wait to see.
Facundo Peristri is on the bench, yeah?
Yes, he is.
Is it Facundo? I think it is Facundo. Do you want me to do the Istanbul lineup? Because I can imagine.
Yes, please, mate. Because most of them, I think it'd just be a nightmare.
Yep. Okay. So in goal for Istanbul is Gonuk. At right back, Raphael with Martin Skirtle, and I think it's Giorgio Uparenu at the back with Boli Bolinyogi. At left back, Oskan, Vizca, Turok, Kveki, Nasser Chadli, and Dembavar. That wasn't great, but, I don't speak Turkish.
No, well, neither do I, mate.
I'm sure if I did, I would be able to pronounce it better. Give me an Italian team and or even a French team, considering I watch Ligue 1, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a different lineup for United. I feel like it's good. Excuse me. It's good that Cavani's getting his chance. Good that Van der Beek's getting a start.
Yeah. Van der Beek and Fred. That would be. I won't be actually watching the match, but that would be very interesting to see how they do in midfield as well, because the last few times that Van der Beek has started, or come on, is on the wing actually, and really his main position is in midfield. So it'd be interesting to see how he'll do.
The thing with Van der Beek is he can do a variety of roles in midfield as well. He can be more defensive, and he can also attack a little bit more, which is good because it allows Solskjaer to be able to adapt that sort of midfield formation as the game goes on, whereas Fred is a lot more defensive.
Yes.
Or has become a lot more defensive because he wasn't really at Shakhtar.
Hey, they got absolutely thumped, didn't they, last time in the Champions League, Shakhtar?
I don't know. I didn't see the score. What was it? Was it 6-1 or something like that by Gladbach?
Yeah, I think so. Or have I got it the wrong way around? Was it? Let me just see. So, yes, sorry, Borussia
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, and Shakhtar got absolutely battered.
Yeah. So, in terms of United tonight, I think it's a much better selection than we've seen it in recent weeks. Obviously, as we talked about on Saturday, I imagine you talked about it. I didn't actually see the stream. I was in bed with a headache after the shambles that was the pre-match that we did that nobody saw. But United were unconvincing. Managed to get through thanks to the penalty. Which, I think United fans would take it.
Yeah.
I think it's past the point now on this show where we sit and we whinge about performances because they are playing badly and it's not convincing. And
but it's about getting the wins. It was against West Brom, which they weren't great again, but it's about the wins. It is.
Yeah, and like I was going to say, that to me, unless I'm missing something again about the rules, West Brom were denied a clear penalty.
Yes, they were.
But God knows what the rules are. As we've, again, a conversation we've had numerous times. What matters, like Will said, for United fans, what matters is they're playing badly, and it depends whether fans want to see victories or they want to see good performances. Because sometimes you can play well and still get beat or still get a draw, and other times you can play awfully and win, which is what United have been doing, really.
It's hard to get that balance, isn't it? I mean, well, for example, let's say Steve Bruce, obviously his style of football, which is not great to watch, but it sometimes can be very rewarding.
I think for me it comes back to, especially with today's match in mind, after what happened last time in the Champions League for United, getting beat by Istanbul, for me they have to win here.
Yeah.
One, for the sake of the group, really.
Oh yes, yeah.
And two, because everybody's noticing how United are playing poorly. A lot of people are saying it. A lot of people are saying, how bad they're playing and this and that. And a lot of people are also saying, we're playing bad, but we're getting wins, which is a good point. And
it's both, isn't it? I think.
But it's something that we've pointed out a lot about negative football, negative body language of players, negative atmosphere around the club generally in terms of players and everything. So, for me, it seems like every game for Ole for a while until they're at that point where they need to be in terms of the top four or, loitering outside the top four. Every game will be a must-win for Ole, and this is no different.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Especially because, in terms of an individual team performance, last time, I feel like, I nearly said Shakhtar, then Istanbul, they did what they had to do, they pounced on the mistakes, and then they defended within an inch of their lives. and that's the beauty of the Champions League. Is it is one of them sometimes where anybody can beat anyone. We saw it last season with, one Man City beating Real Madrid, which was a shock to me, and then obviously Lyon then went and beat Man City.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
And I'm sure in that group, Lyon also beat. I think Lyon beat Juventus, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They did, yeah.
They beat Juventus, and I'm sure they had Barcelona in their group and beat Barcelona as well.
Yes, well, Barcelona. Let's be fair. I mean, last season in the Champions League, I mean, they didn't do that great, and got ripped to shreds. That'll be that famous 8-2 win by.
I hate to be a Barcelona fan.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, there's going to be obviously elections coming up. Will Messi stay? I mean,
I think you just completely missed the point. I said I hate to be a Barcelona fan.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, I think that's something that's come into the Champions League recently, is that kind of unpredictability of it. Same with the Europa League. Anybody can beat anybody. I mean, Rangers are a team that are doing exceptionally well, both in the league and in the cup at the time.
And the Europa League. Yeah, I've been looking. Whether Celtic, they crashed out of the Champions League earlier than they've been for a lot of seasons, and don't think they're doing that great in the Europa League either.
It was a 90th minute equaliser from Benfica that denied Rangers a win over them, and Benfica are a top side with some top players.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, going back to the original point, with the Champions League being the way it is, I think there's a lot of pressure, but there is I think because of the different things, the negative atmosphere that surrounded United for a couple of seasons now, and it has come back since Ole's kind of, I don't know, since some things have gone on. Lots more talk about Pogba. I think it was Laurent Blanc or Deschamps that came out and said about how unhappy Pogba is.
Didier Deschamps. Yeah.
It was Deschamps. Oh, okay. So, that's really not good. And for me, it typifies, the only real positive thing for United at the minute in terms of off the pitch is probably Marcus Rashford.
Oh yes, of course. I mean,
because there's so much talk about Greenwood at the minute. I don't know if you've seen the things that are swirling around the papers about him.
Oh no, but I bet the press just they really want to bring him down ever since that incident.
Well, we're not going to talk about it because you're innocent until proven guilty, but it definitely doesn't sound good. Some of the things
I'll look it up after. I'll look it up later.
So we'll see what happens there. Another thing that's really, really weird that I read today, and I think you said a similar thing. Ole came out and said that Dean Henderson has the potential to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world, right?
Yeah.
So surely in a Champions League game, it's a cup game to me. So play your backup goalie.
Well, yeah, but also maybe he's thinking, not make too many changes because, they were very poor, obviously, last time around. But Dean Henderson wasn't to blame.
Oh, Rennes have equalised against Chelsea.
Oh, 85 minutes on the clock.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Just to talk about that one because I think it might be interesting to do so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Chelsea against Rennes in Rennes. I know a little bit about Rennes, so I can do a little bit of talking about Rennes. For me, they've got a couple of key players. Obviously, they got rid of Edouard Mendy.
Yeah, who's starting for Chelsea, of course, today.
Yeah, I'm sure his name is Alfred Gomez. Sorry, from Dijon, and he's an outstanding goalkeeper as well. Really for like. And then obviously you've got to look at the midfield. 18-year-old Eduardo Camavinga. And
yes, I've heard of him because he's been linked with a lot of clubs. Yeah.
Former Stoke and Blackburn player Stephen Nzonzi in midfield as well.
Oh yeah.
For them. So yeah, they've got a good team, I think, and at the minute in the league, the fifth in the league or fourth in Ligue 1.
Oh right.
So they're doing very well. It's a difficult task for Chelsea, I think. Especially away from home. Away from home in the Champions League is never easy anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to be upset if they don't win. To be fair, for me.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
In the same breath, you also respect your team, and
yes.
We talked a lot about Ligue 1, but the better teams in the league do play some good football.
Yes.
It's just, for me, it just is always that same kind of thing that you seem to get in the European leagues, or specifically in the French league, for example, because I can't really say that about some of the other teams in the other leagues. Like, when you're lower down the bottom, like the play and the just the way the games go and the defending and the attacking play is so poor.
Yeah.
So I like Rennes. They've got a lot of good players. Like we said, Camavinga has the potential to become one of the best players in the world, let alone in the French league, because I think he's up there nearly already anyway at 18, because he is just a absolute machine of a player. And I think obviously sitting alongside Nzonzi, who's been there and done it at a number of different clubs, whether it's been Galatasaray, Stoke, Blackburn, Sevilla, he's been everywhere really. So there's no better partner for him. And yeah, it's disappointing for Chelsea. It's good for Hudson-Odoi to get a goal, though. A very good goal as well, by all accounts.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I like him, Hudson-Odoi, I do.
Yeah, I mean, we have had a couple of conversations about him. Obviously, we talked about the 70 million bid from Bayern Munich, and we've talked about he's not seen enough from him, and Sam very much did agree with Dunkno, and I'm a Chelsea fan, but I'm inclined sometimes to agree too, because I think that in order to be classed as a top class player, you have to show exactly what you can do. Just before we go back to the United game, because obviously that's the main focus, I didn't realise that there were championship games on.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was going to ask you if we wanted to go through them just a bit.
And a pretty much a full, not quite a full championship one, but looks like a full League 1 and League 2, or nearly a full League 1 and League 2.
You've confused me.
I'm on about the fact that, like, League 1 and, like, I don't know how to say it. So pretty much all the teams in League 1 and League 2 are playing as well.
Oh, I see. Right, okay.
So I'll just quickly go through the League 1 and 2 scores, and then we'll focus in on the Championship, of course.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tranmere and Carlisle 0-0, 40 minutes. Stevenage 1, Port Vale 0. Yes, get in. 40 minutes. Southend Forest Green 0-0. Scunthorpe Bolton 0-0. Salford Morecambe 1-0 Salford. 1-1 between Newport and Walsall. 1-0 to Harrogate away at Mansfield. 0-0 Leyton Orient Bradford. 1-0 for Exeter at home to Colchester. 1-1 between Crawley and Grimsby, and 1-1 between Barrow and Oldham, and 0-0 between Cheltenham and Cambridge. That's a battle at the top of League 2. Now, going into League One, it is 0-0 Wigan and Bristol Rovers, 0-0 Swindon and Lincoln, 1-0 to Northampton away at Rochdale, 1-0 Portsmouth at home, 1-0 Peterborough at home to Plymouth, and Portsmouth are at home to Oxford, by the way. 1-0 to Shrewsbury away at MK Dons, 1-0 to Hull away at Ipswich, that's another battle at the top. 2-0 to Blackpool away at Doncaster, 2-1 to Burton Albion at home to Charlton, 0-0 between Accrington and Crewe, and 2-1 to Gillingham at Wickham. In the Championship at the minute, about the 40th minute mark, it's 0-0 between Wickham and Huddersfield. Stoke are losing 2-0 away at Norwich. It's 1-1 between QPR and Rotherham, and 1-1 between Luton and Birmingham.
Right, okay. And thank you for that. So shall we go through some of the Championship scores?
Yeah, so like I just said, obviously Stoke 2-0 down. Stoke on a great run at the minute.
Yeah, Michael O'Neill's doing a very good job there.
Just about pushes them out of the relegation, out of the out of the playoff places.
Yeah.
It's not great, obviously. You know, again, Norwich are one of those teams that have been able to keep the pace. Top of the table at the moment.
They're doing quite well, aren't they? And they've kept a couple of players have gone. Ben Godfrey
and two of the Premier League players that stayed, Emi Buendia and Timu Puki, are the ones that scored the goals.
Yeah.
For Norwich. You know, it looks good for them at the minute, and you know, it's very interesting. Also, 1-1 between QPR and Rotherham. This one is a battle in the sort of lower mid-table. Rotherham 4 points away from safety. QPR 6 points away from safety. Obviously, at this moment in time, with 12 games played, it still doesn't really mean that much in the Championship. But just to take you through the story of the game, Elias Chair scored in the 20th minute for QPR with the assist from Bright Osei Samuel, and that was equalised from Rotherham's Smith, assisted by Wes Harding. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Then it's Luton 1 and Birmingham 1. Obviously, Birmingham under Ida Karanka. Still, you know, I think it is coming together a little bit for them, but they're still not done what they probably would be hoping for. Yeah, the 16th in the table.
That's not too bad, although.
Birmingham, Luton are definitely, you know, if they can get the win, they go to 21 points, which put them level on points with Stoke just having a better goal difference. Nathan Jones coming back into the club has been huge, and I mean huge, for Luton, of course.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Because when he came back, I mean, why did you think it didn't work for him at Stoke?
Do you know what? That's a really difficult question. I just want to take you through the story of the game. Before I answer that question. So Birmingham went 1-0 up after a 23rd minute penalty from their talisman Lucas Jukovic, with Luton Town equalising after a goal from Matty Pearson, assisted by Glenn Ray. Why didn't it work for Nathan Jones is really interesting, because I'm not actually too sure. Because I think they played okay football.
Yeah.
But it's similar with Rowett. You know, it didn't work with Rowett.
No.
And yet I think he's doing a good job with Millwall.
Yeah, he's a good manager, isn't he, Gary Rowett?
It's definitely, like, look at it. Gary Rowett's Millwall, who don't have the best of sides,
no,
are 11th in the table, 4 points away from the playoffs, with a game in hand. So I know they haven't done brilliantly, but they're not playing too bad. Also, QPR are now 2-1 up after Brighter Say Samuel, who got the assist earlier on, has scored. He's been assisted by former Stoke boy Jeff Cameron.
Oh.
So yeah, that I think that for now is probably enough about the championship. We'll talk about that at some point again.
Wycombe Wanderers are also, it's 0-0 against Huddersfield as well.
I don't think we are going to do an extra time, are we?
I don't think so, no.
Chelsea did get the win against Rennes. Olivier Giroud scored in the 91st minute.
Now, that's also very interesting because there's lots of talk, obviously, about Giroud, and then Lampard saying, oh no, Giroud is a very important player for us at the moment. If he does want to leave, then, he will have talked to him about it. But
yeah, well, the thing is, he's a huge influence, isn't he?
Oh, of course, he's a great player. Really great player.
Especially on Abraham, who's in such an important part of his career. I think for Abraham, he is the sort of the target player. I think there were a lot of comparisons to Drogba. I don't think that is the kind of player Abraham is. But yeah, he's still a good option, and obviously with the way that Chelsea play, kind of fluid with the positions of players. You see Ziyech on the wing, and then Pulisic is on the wing, and then Werner's on the wing, and Abraham's up front, and then Abraham's in the wing, and Werner's. So it's definitely a really fluid system with different players being able to drop into different areas, and that's why I think Giroud's important, because he can play that kind of deeper striker, but he can also finish as well.
Yeah.
And to just go back to the United game for 10 quick minutes.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Do we think that the last couple of games for United have provided them with some momentum? Even if they're not played so well, they didn't do it. They weren't, Everton set up for me tactically negatively, and they were able to take advantage of that.
Yes.
And then against West Brom, really, they got away with one.
Yes.
Unless in the letter of the law it is a penalty, which I don't know. I've not seen the actual penalty itself yet, so I can't really say. But, apparently it's because Bruno Fernandes did get a touch on the ball as he was taking the man out or something like that. So therefore it's not a penalty.
Oh yeah, and it also got a bit dramatic because the goalkeeper was off the line as well. So he had to take the penalty again.
Oh yeah, Sam Johnston, who's a very good goalie actually.
He was very, very, very... He was West Brom's best player, I thought. He should. I think he was man of the match, and I would agree because the saves he made, absolutely fantastic. I cannot praise him enough.
I don't know. I think that we do a lot of this kind of negativity about a lot of this negativity about United. And
we've also got Duncan and Ben Carney. Hi Ben, how are you, mate? And hello to you, Duncan. Let's just all agree United are lucky. They certainly have been in a lot of games, particularly the Brighton game, which seems ages ago now, but they were very, 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 very lucky in that game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is the point. I guess the case in point to close the United conversation, you could just say they are lucky. They do seem to get all of the luck. Even more than, I think there was a lot of people saying, oh yeah, I heard a lot of people last season say, oh yeah, Liverpool, because they got a lot of VAR decisions. And I think you can see this season, it really, if you look at let's say the Everton result, where they drew, VAR hasn't done Liverpool that many favours this season, but
no.
United are pretty much the only team, it seems, that get complete and utter luck. I mean, you look at the penalty that they were given in the first place. Semi Ajayi isn't even facing the ball. You know, it's like the Eric Dyer one, but just a little bit different. It's never a penalty in a million years.
Yeah.
With that being said, if we're going to predict this game because of the luck that United do get, you would have to say that they are going to win.
You just never know. Although with that team, I would be certainly more hopeful than I would have been. But yeah, it just... So, can I talk to you about Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah.
Now, me and Sam, we went through his stats for this season, and it is obviously still a little bit early, but already this season, 6 goals and 3 assists isn't actually that too bad, actually. Now, of course, I know you think Fernandes has been not great, but what do you think? I mean, I personally think for, you know, the start of this season, you know, 6 goals and 3 assists is actually not too bad, actually.
I think you have to look at it because other than the 2 goals from open play against Everton, I think they're all penalties.
Yes, but they do count as goals, though.
Hold on a minute. I'm trying to eat.
Oh, sorry. The penalties do count as goals, though, still.
No, but what I'm saying is a penalty is a free shot at the goal from 12 yards out.
Well, yes.
You know, the expectation is, more times than not, that the player's going to score it, then he's going to miss it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yes, I get you. I mean, last season, 8 goals and 7 assists, which was not bad at all for a debut season. So
I think there's no point with that statistic because he got 8 goals and 9 assists?
8 goals and 7 assists last season.
8 goals and 7 assists he basically got from March onwards, right?
Right.
So he did that in how many months of the season were there? From what was it?
Oh well, he came in January, February. Yeah. Just March, obviously the Premier League.
But he didn't really. So in 3 months, he got 8 goals and 7 assists, right?
Yeah.
So imagine using actual maths. Imagine how many he would have got over the 9. You know, over a 9-month season. So you're looking at that, and I don't know. That just seems average to me. I agree that Bruno is United's best player. He's well, no. Actually, take that back. Rashford is United's best player.
Yes.
But in terms of,
he's still a good player, though.
Yeah, he is. But I think when you're looking at, you know, everybody goes on at him like he's Jesus' second coming, and apart from 2 goals from open play against Everton, he's only scored penalties. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a fantastic player, world class, great. I think he'd fit into any team in world football right now. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, he'd go there and do a job.
Yeah.
But I think if you're looking at a player who scored 4 penalties this season and saying, oh yeah, he's got 6 goals and 3 assists, he's not that good, and it reflects sort of what United are lacking when the main creative player isn't doing very much.
Yeah. I mean, but he's certainly. I think he's not going to be one of those, you know, one season players and then go off. I don't think. I still
No,
think
we know how much ability it is, but it's like saying if you stuck Lionel Messi in the Accrington Stanley team, would he score $40 a season?
Probably not, because the service he has got at Barcelona.
The reality of that is actually maybe he would because he's Lionel Messi, but logic would dictate that no, he wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. So don't know. Basically agrees with me. Just to go back. How many are pens? He said how many are pens of Bruno Fernandes's goals? Pens count as goals, but they don't represent the quality of the players. League Twos could score penalties against Neuer. I agree. Bruno isn't all that. The way United talk about him is like he is KDB and City. So the way that City fans talk about Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, Kevin De Bruyne is a great player, but unfortunately, he's had so many injury setbacks, hasn't he? And
I think it's weird. A lot of people are talking about the fact that City are really missing David Silva. But I think that's to do with the fact that City as a team aren't really operating that well either. The same with United. I think if United were all on force, Martial was scoring, Rashford was scoring, Bruno was getting involved. If they were all playing very well, Bruno would be hitting high numbers, and so would the rest of the team. But
yeah,
that stands the same with City as well. I agree completely that the penalties are no reflection of a player's skill or ability at all. The only thing it shows is determination, because you do have to work a lot at penalties. Yeah, it is a free shot from 12 yards or 6 yards or whatever it is. What's the penalty spot? 12 yards. It is, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But that basic point still stands. That I don't know. I like Bruno. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, but
I would also agree with what Dugno said. Rodri is crappy, isn't mobile enough. I'm not particularly a fan of Rodri, I have to admit.
Did you just say the C word? Oh dear.
Oh, it's not a swear word. It's
you naughty boy.
It's not a swear word. It's not a swear word.
Just to say, I say way worse swear words than Will, but yeah, I've never heard him swear.
To be honest, way worse. There are way more worse words than you can use. So, if Pep signs Partey...
Sorry. Sorry, I was just going to basically read. Rodri is crappy, isn't mobile enough. I agree. He's basically like City's version of John Obi Mikel. He can sort of spray the ball out, but other than that, he kind of just stands there. If Pep signed Partey, they would dominate the league. Yeah, I think that's not a bad shout, because Pep is used to La Liga and used to the Premier League. He would probably be able to translate the styles across better than maybe an Arteta, who's never had a managerial job other than the Arsenal one.
Oh, yeah, and obviously, because David Silva, he played, his main position was the defensive midfield, so Partey could easily replace him.
Lots of talk about City missing David Silva, like I said. How well is he doing at the minute? He's absolutely bossing
Real
it.
Sociedad are at the top of the table, and let's hope. I'm really hoping they do that, because it would just be nice instead of the usual Barcelona, Real Madrid. Barcelona are at 10th at the moment in the table. They are doing, by their standards, absolutely dreadful.
It'll be interesting to see. They just lost PK as well. It'll be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, sure. PK though is probably coming to the point though, isn't he, now that he's probably, because he's getting on a bit, he's not going to be the
What
player.
Is he, 31, 32?
No, I think he's 35 or something.
I disagree with that a little, because the one thing it does do is allow Koeman to sort of experiment with other options in midfield, in defence. Sorry.
Oh, yes, and and actually Koeman's been playing giving a lot of the youth players a chance actually as well.
KDB doesn't get enough protection from Rodri, and with Partey, he would get that. I agree. I think one of the issues with City is they do lack that sort of. I think me and Sam have talked about it before when we've talked to you about defensively. You do need a sort of a midfield screen to kind of help protect.
Yeah.
I think the John Obi Mikel actually was the perfect example. Yeah, he didn't really do much. He didn't contribute goals or assists, but in terms of a help for the defence and in turn then like a Lampard or a Ballack in front of him, he was a good player.
Played for Chelsea a long time, didn't he? Quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, at Stoke now.
Oh yeah, because he went to
China.
He went to some
Trabzonspor.
club in the Championship for a bit as well.
He went to China.
And then he
went to Middlesbrough. Sorry, it was Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough, that's it. Yeah.
And then he went to Trabzonspor.
Oh yeah.
And now he's back at Stoke.
Well, he's certainly going around for his world tour, isn't he?
I think there does need to be. It's like with United. I think they haven't really got a very good sort of defensive player. Really, they've got Matic, but his legs have gone.
Oh Matic. I think it's time to say goodbye. I think.
Mikel was underrated. IMO. As a Chelsea fan, I completely agree. He was underrated because nobody talked about him. It was kind of like Carrick in a way, but sort of different because Mikel was much more defensive. Because he didn't chip in with goals and assists or a wonderful pass, or he couldn't do a rainbow flick. People didn't talk that much about him, but he was important.
Carrick was a good player.
Hang on, we're on about Mikel now, but...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I completely agree with Dunkno there. The game started 6 minutes ago.
Well...
But I think we're kind of in the middle of a decent conversation.
Yeah, I think, why not keep it going? We are thinking along the same wavelength tonight.
Yeah, we're doing okay tonight.
We're
all right tonight.
Yep. So actually, Dunkno, I mean, it'd be interesting I want to ask you because obviously we know you're an Arsenal fan. Nicolas Pepe, it's going to be very hard for him to come back now, isn't it? Because that headbutt was disgraceful. That was disgraceful. That was.
I don't know. Let me just stick up for Pepe a little bit.
Oh right. Oh sorry. Doug Noah said, "If I was United, I'd replace Pogba with." Oh, I can never pronounce this guy.
Milinkovic Savic, great shout.
From Lazio.
Lazio, yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Let me just defend Pepe while we wait for Dunkno to give us his opinion.
Yep.
As a player, you are allowed lapses of judgment. You are allowed, the occasional time that your head goes or you do something stupid, and that's fine. That's okay. I think, obviously, as long as Arteta just talks to him, nips it in the bud, he's been very good man management-wise, I think.
Yeah, especially with Guendouzi after the ball pay incident.
He's dealt with negative players. He's dealt with players on in positive form. He knows what he seems to be doing.
Yeah.
In terms of player management, so I think it should be okay. But yeah, it was stupid from Pepe. It really was. And
yeah, because that was no accident. That was on purpose. That was.
That sort of thing has no place in the game.
No.
For me.
I think
sort of bit Zidane-esque, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was just about to say. I think he was getting some inspiration. I think from another fellow Frenchman.
Pepe's not French. He's from the Ivory Coast.
Oh, sorry. It's because he played for Lille. Yes.
Well, I don't know. There is obviously a link between players that play in France and Ivory Coast International, but
yeah,
it is obviously as an African country. So
whoops. Yeah, right. I mean, right. It is impossible for him to come back if he starts performing in the next games. I'll like him back, but this season it's been like a donkey on ice, and I don't have much hope.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes has just scored for Man United, by the way.
Wait, get it? Is it a penalty?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it. It would say pen if it was a penalty.
Oh, that is true. I'll just have a look.
Sorry,
now.
let me just.
Oh no! Right, so that is.
Bloody hell! Well, dying or what?
Sorry, that just came out of nowhere. So that is 2 goals in the Champions League now of this season. So goal number 2 for him, and that's all together. Let's see, 6 goals. Right, so yeah, there'll be 7 goals altogether and 3 assists for this season, as it stands. But yeah, obviously a good start.
Pepe is running out of people supporting him. He needs to start showing something. I agree.
Yeah.
Because 72 million is massive.
Oh yeah, 72 million. What's he showed? Well, not very much from my eyes. First season, okay, you're settling into a new league. You can, that's fair enough. But second season, he has to start showing that. And
apparently, it was a screamer from Bruno.
Oh my! Well, I'm sure I'll be able to watch it on YouTube. But I'm really enjoying this, and to be honest, if I miss one match, it isn't the end of the world.
Just to go across the grounds again in the Championship, it's now 3-1 QPR at Rotherham. Lyndon Dykes with the 3rd goal out from the penalty spot for QPR in the 8 o'clock. Is it 8 o'clock? No. Quarter to 8 kickoffs. It's 0-0 Barnsley Brentford, 0-0 Preston Blackburn, and in the 8 o'clock kickoff, it is Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0 after Junior Stanislas scored.
Oh, Bournemouth are doing really great, they are.
Yeah, started to really flow under Jason Tinderland. Let's go into League 2 just quickly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Full-time Gillingham 2, Wimbledon 1. It's still 0-0 against Accrington and Crewe. Burton Albion now 3-1 up at Charlton. Doncaster Rovers has equalised against Blackpool. Hull are still 2-0 up at Ipswich. Shrewsbury have now gone 2 goals up at MK Dons. Peterborough still 1-0 up. Portsmouth still 1-0 up. Rochdale still 1-0 down to Northampton, and it's still 0-0 in the other 2 games. Oldham are now 2-1 up at Barrow. Cheltenham are 1-0 up at Cambridge. Grimsby have gone 2-1 up at Crawley. Exeter 2-0 up. Still 0-0 Leyton Orient Bradford. Harrogate still 1-0 up at Mansfield. 1-1 between Walsall and Newport, which I think was the score anyway, but I don't remember. 2-0 to Salford now against Morecambe. Still 0-0 against Southend and Forest Green. And still 1-0 to Stevenage against the Vale.
Yep.
And 1-0 to Tranmere Rovers against Carlisle.
Oh, right, okay. Thank you for that, and we'll keep you updated with the scores as we go around the grounds. So Doug Lewis said, I wouldn't mind selling Pepe. 30 million would do it well. That would be good, but surely if you're Arsenal, you'd be wanting to recoup pretty much the 72 million to get
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like what you said, isn't it? it's kind of like what Dunkno said, because he's not showing anything. How much are people willing to pay for him? For me, they have to get at least half the money they paid for him back, which is £36 million. But you're gonna, with the way the market is at the minute, I'm sure somebody would pay that amount of money, the 30 million that Dunkno says. But again, mate, I don't know if we've seen enough to justify it.
No.
Because he did have an okay season last season, but as we've said a million and one times, he's not had a £72 million
Oh no,
season.
definitely not.
In that respect, Kepa hasn't had a £72 million season in 2 seasons. So we'll see.
Kepa is dreadful. But
in terms of just to go, maybe look at it a bit more financially, in terms of what he has provided, we're talking maybe in terms of wins and win bonuses and, you know, finishing in the, you know, doing well and getting into certain cup competitions and cup progress and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he's earned back about 10 to 15 million of that. So well, even then, you're still looking at like 50 something million to get the money back on him.
Wow. So, oh, excuse me. Sorry, I just some things just tickling me. Right, for me, Arsenal, we need to get a crate in January or we're done for. Yes, you definitely do need to get a creative midfielder. I mean, would Ozil, bring him out of the cold just till the end of the season, then maybe get OR potentially in the summer?
No, he's done. Ozil's done. I think.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
it's a shame because he definitely at the time that he went to Arsenal, he was one of the better players.
Oh yeah,
and
Sanchez.
In the world.
Him and Sanchez. Sorry to interrupt you.
Sanchez, he started to find form in Italy, by the way. Scored and assisted.
Inter Milan, though, were a fifth in the Italian league, and a team. Who I looked at it. Who was first?
AC Milan.
Oh, well, was it? It was someone else when I looked. Someone who I couldn't pronounce.
Yeah, it's Sassuolo were top, but AC Milan didn't play.
Oh, okay. Right, so the...
Dunkno says the English Premier League doesn't suit him. The German league would be a good place for him, probably. Or Spain. I don't agree. I'm not necessarily sure about Spain, because Spain is quite a physical league. I think he'd get battered.
Well, he came from Bilbao, though, didn't he?
No, Pepe didn't come from Bilbao.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were on about Kepa. Sorry.
No. Get Sabolas out.
Oh, hang on. I think we're back. Sorry about that. I hope YouTube has kept that, because that would be particularly annoying. Well, anyway, so
we're back.
Yeah.
Well, it's just all it did then was skip.
Okay.
Then get Awar in the summer. I would throw into a trade deal Xhaka for Barella plus cash. Sorry, yeah. I really like Nicola Barella, to be honest. He's only young as well. He can definitely still improve, which is a good sign, and he does really well in that Inter midfield. That would be a good shout. Obviously, got Vidal there as well. Inter.
Yeah.
Such a brilliant team that Conte has built.
Yes. I mean,
got the best out of Lukaku. Got the best out of Sanchez.
Ashley Young as well.
Yeah, he still gets a game. What a robbery that is.
Yeah. One player that isn't doing well, though, and may live to regret wanting to move there, Christian Eriksen. What is going wrong for him, do you think?
apparently he's been offered back to Spurs already. That's what I saw.
Well, if I was Tottenham, would you really want him back? After so pushing to leave, and plus they've got Bale now and Ndombele and Son and Kane and.
I saw somebody having that same debate, and they said the same thing.
I don't think it's worth it now.
The likes of, with Harry Kane taking up a deeper role and doing well, sort of sitting deeper, and then you got Heung-min Son, and he's just on fire, and Ndombele started to come to fruition now. Højbjerg has turned into a great player. Lo Celso has been underrated as hell
super
for a long
sub.
time.
Talk about super sub when he came on. That was just amazing.
For me, I think I'd probably, if I was Spurs, I'd probably still have him back purely just because of what he can do, what we know he can do.
Right. So if you were Spurs, you tried to get him back then.
But if you wanted too much money for him, no way.
No, especially because Eriksen, what is he? Oh, must be 30, 33, 34, something like that now.
Have you? No, I don't think he's. What was he? 23 when he joined. 23 when he joined Spurs. So he's 30 or 31.
Oh, okay. My mistake. I also want to talk about Granit Xhaka as well, because I know Doug mentioned him, and I was watching Arsenal Leeds, and even though Xhaka wasn't on the pitch, I was thinking credit to Xhaka for, and Arteta actually for helping him turn his Arsenal career around, because I saw that in
Man United 2-0 up, Bruno Fernandes again.
Oh, wow.
I shouldn't have talked about his stats.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we think United are not going to do well, and then they do, and then when we think they're going to do well, they don't do well. I think we tend to curse it, don't we? So getting back to Granit Xhaka, I mean. Because I remember seeing that incident, the fans getting at him, ripping the captain's armband off and going down the tunnel. I thought, there's no way back now. That is him gone, as far as I'm concerned. But no, Emery went, Arteta came in, and yeah, he's...
Dunkno says Eriksen is 29.
Oh, 29, okay. So yeah.
I don't know, for an attacking midfielder, I think he's kind of in a sort of a strange age, because it can be the age where you start to lose your legs a little bit.
Yeah, I to me, for Spurs, the way they're going, I personally, for my opinion, Eriksen, a great player. I really liked him with Kane and Ali, but now I think they'd be going backwards if they got Eriksen again.
It's also a little bit of a weird one, because, like you just said, while they're doing so well, it's
and Son and Kane are absolutely shining together.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Eriksen is 28. Doug Noah's said.
Well, 28. Oh, right. So, yeah, like you said, he's kind of in that sort of... For an attacking midfielder, he's probably sort of reaching the back end of his prime. But that being said, he's still a very good player. I just don't know... I don't know why he's not adapted to the Italian league.
No, some players don't, do they? Though.
I think that's it. Just in general, like it is difficult to adapt to a new league. We saw it with Ndombele, actually.
Yeah, and but look at the work Mourinho has done to. Well, I don't know. Ndombele's obviously done some of the work obviously done a lot of the work, but it also comes credit probably to Mourinho as well, because he didn't think very much of Ndombele at all. Oh, Ericsson is finished. He needs to go to China to get his final paycheck.
Excuse me, just having a drink.
No, that's all right.
It's kind of a weird one, because I think once you start to go to big teams and you don't perform, or you get a reputation for being unhappy at a club, then it is kind of funny how quickly your career can go downhill. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably only messing when he says going to China, but.
Well, to be honest, that wouldn't surprise me though.
if he doesn't pick up his form, it is something that could happen.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it really is.
Because China and their football, they're quite. Doug No says Spurs are really impressive this year. If they could fix their defence with top players, they could really be a threat. Plus a world-class right winger.
Who do they have on the right?
Well, I'm trying to think. So, Kane.
Probably Lucas Moura, isn't it? It'd be Lucas Moura.
Yes, yeah, it'd be Lucas Moura, yeah.
Who is good but not world class.
Oh no! He's a good option off the bench. I remember. I think it was against United. Actually, it was almost a Lucas Moura show that game.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. And I thought he was very good. And he also scored, talking of the Champions League.
A hat-trick in the Champions League, wasn't it?
Yeah. To when he scored the final goal to get Tottenham to the final, I think, against Ajax.
I don't know. I think for Lucas, I think his career's been funny, because he could have been that kind of Neymar-esque player in terms of how far he could have reached. But
yeah.
He was the original Neymar, in my opinion. He moved to Paris. Got a very good paycheck in the French league, and then obviously moved to Spurs and has done okay. I think it's very obvious the amount of talent he's got.
Yes,
but I think in the same regard, he hasn't proved that he can go to that next level.
Moura Bale, Doug now has said.
Yeah, Moura and Bale.
Oh, sorry. Bale... Right, okay. I thought he was comparing. Lucas Moura is really underwhelming for me. I thought he'd be a world beater, but he has ended up like a Coman. If you're on about Kingsley Coman, he's been a very big player for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but I still think I agree with Don't Know a little bit, because I think you look at Kingsley Coman. Yeah, I think what is he on now? What is he? 24, 25, something like that.
Yeah,
25, and he's in that time he's won a league title in every single one of his professional seasons, including a Champions League as well.
Oh,
with Bayern Munich, and God knows how many French Cups with 2 French Cups with Paris Saint-Germain, and
he used to play for PSG, didn't he? Yeah.
But in that same regard, I agree that he still hasn't shown what he could do.
Yeah, and he's put YH. I'm not sure what that means, but something Kingsley Coman. He's like a Martial too.
Yeah, I agree. What's YH? Let me have a look.
I've no idea.
It says yeah. Kingsley Coman.
Oh, right.
He's
Sorry.
like a Martial too. Yeah, I agree. I think with Martial, again, he's another one. He should have done more. Because I remember him at Monaco, and subsequently in his first couple of seasons with United, you're thinking, wow, this boy is going to be special.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work for him.
No.
And Coman's the same. Can have brilliant individual performances and then go missing for 10 games. And
yeah,
it's interesting for sure, I think.
And Bayern didn't need him against Barcelona, because I remember listening to it on the radio, and Koeman came off the bench. Although he was carrying an injury, to be fair, but I don't think Bayern definitely weren't missing him. I mean, the best moment for me, though, was when Coutinho scored the final goal, because he was obviously on loan at Bayern against Barcelona. That, to me, was... I could just imagine the Barcelona president's face, and
it's interesting as well, because you look at Bayern Munich's side, and they've got Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané as well now.
Oh yeah.
There's that young English lad, Jamal Musiala.
Yeah.
Who's coming into the team a little bit more now. I kind of worry about Koeman, because to me, when you look at how well Gnabry's played, and Sané's had a great season so far for Bayern Munich as well.
Yeah. Do you think? Sorry, just to interrupt you. Do you think City are missing him, Sané?
I think it's difficult, because with you do tend to focus on, one player and then are they missing that player? Whereas I think if you look at what they've gotten rid of over the last maybe 2 years, the likes of Kompany, Silva, Sané was a huge player. Otamendi was hugely important at times, not so much in his last couple of seasons. But Fernandinho's winding his career down a little bit now, and Fabian Delph was an important player in the dressing room. He's gone as well, and so I think that they're missing the core of some of the leaders in that team.
Yes.
Similarly for United, they have a distinct lack of a leader in their team.
Yes, they don't have a leader at all. Although, actually, when I've seen Fernandes, he does seem like leader material for me.
I'm never saying anything about Bruno Fernandes again, because he might just go and score 5 goals.
So Dugno says, I think Koeman and Martial are good players, but are too inconsistent to reach the pinnacle of success. I definitely agree with that. Also,
he's right, they'll never do it.
Yeah. Dugno's also said, do you think Bayern will win it for a second year in a row?
Possibly.
Bundesliga league title, that is. So, what did you say? Did you say probably?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think, although, Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund, I thought was just amazing, because I looked, and they won 5-2, and...
Yeah. 4 goals from Haaland, and
4 goals from Haaland, exactly. Yeah.
Yusuf Mukuku, I think that's how you say it. The youngest ever Bundesliga debutant, 16 years and 1 day old.
16. Wow.
Borussia Dortmund went to the Bundesliga especially to ask if they could lower the age of the debutants from 17 to 16.
Oh, sorry, Doug. No, sorry, means the Champions League, not Bundesliga. Oh, of course, because they won the Champions League last season.
Well, the one thing about Bayern Munich is they just consistently always seem to strengthen, and they also don't really lose any of the main players.
No.
You look at the likes of Lewandowski, who's just unbelievable, like an alien goal scorer, the way that he scores goals.
Yeah.
And he's still not gone anywhere.
No.
Gnabry had a brilliant season. He could have gone somewhere. Neuer has had plenty of opportunities, I imagine, to go somewhere. Boateng as well probably has had the same big opportunities to go somewhere. Probably should have done it, because he's kind of, he started to reach the opposite end of his career now. Still a great player, don't get me wrong. Yeah, we all know Bayern will win the Bundesliga. That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's what made me laugh. Yeah, but yeah. Obviously, it's pretty much same year after year after year. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, and I actually thought Bayern would once Robin and Ribery both left. I thought they would slightly struggle because they were obviously big players for them. But no, they've just carried on where they've left off. Really, you wouldn't know.
Also, a quick shout out in the Bundesliga to Ryan Sessegnon, who scored his first goal for Hoffenheim in a 3-3 draw.
Ooh, wow. He's a really weird one, isn't he? Oh, penalty to United, it's saying here.
Oh, God, here we go. Bloody hell. There you go, Bruno Fernandes hat-trick. Slagged him off, then he goes and scores a hat-trick.
Well, no. To be honest, it wouldn't be a true hat-trick. It wouldn't.
It would.
Oh well. Yes, yes, it would. But obviously, you're saying that penalties don't really. They're not true.
No, I'm not saying they don't count. They count as goals. What I'm saying is they're not a reflection of the quality of a player.
Yes. Yeah, I think if you were playing bingo and thinking United to get a penalty tonight, well, yeah, I think you're right.
Well, they are they're basically powered by penalties, aren't they? United, let's be fair.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, obviously it's.
The BBC Sport put, "Can I shock you? United have a penalty."
Well, yeah, they're not.
Kimmich this year has been a monster. I agree. He's a fantastic player. If you're looking at maybe a player that could go to Man City and provide a good, a good midfielder in front of the defense, Joshua Kimmich for sure.
Yeah, he's been linked,
He'd
doesn't he?
never go.
City.
I don't think he would go.
No.
But
why would you want to leave Bayern when they've won the Champions League? He's won lots of league type the Bundesliga year after year after year. Why would you want to leave? But there may be obviously. Oh, it's Marcus Rashford.
What?
Yeah.
So he could have had a penalty, and yet Marcus Rashford is taking it.
Yeah.
Could have had a hat trick and put Marcus. I rate that.
Yeah. Well, good to see Rashford get on the score sheet, and yet apparently Marcus Rashford was onside. Just it's saying there. But anyway, 3-0 to United. Yeah, I mean Istanbul. I mean, they seem like they're not doing very well at all.
All the good work that they put in the last one coming apart. Should we do a quick little lower league update?
Oh yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I'm more happy to do that.
Starting from the bottom, Tranmere still 1-0 up against Carlisle. Stevenage now 2-0 up against Port Vale. Forest Green 1-0 up away to Southend. Bolton 1-0 up away to Scunthorpe. It's now 2-1 Stalford versus Morecambe. Still 1-1. Scores still the same for Newport v Walsall and Mansfield Harrogate.
Yeah.
1-0 Leyton Orient against Bradford. It's 4-1 Exeter against Colchester. Scores still the same against for Crawley Grimsby, Cheltenham Cambridge, and Barrow versus Oldham. It's still 0-0 for Wigan and Bristol Rovers. Scores still the same for Swindon and Lincoln, Northampton and Rochdale, Peterborough and Plymouth. Portsmouth and Oxford United is now 1-1. MK Dons have come back to draw 2-2 against Shrewsbury. It's still 2-0 for Hull against Ipswich. Doncaster Rovers have come from behind to win to lead 3-2 at Blackpool. It's now 4-2 Burton Albion against Charlton, and it's still 1-0 Accrington against Crewe.
Oh.
In the Championship, it's still Bournemouth 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Blackburn Rovers are 1-0 up at 10-man Preston, with Adam Armstrong scoring the penalty following the red card. It's 3-1 Norwich v Stoke after
Tyrese Campbell.
Yeah, Tyrese Campbell scored following a second from Timu Puki and a sending off for Emi Buendia. It's still 3-1 to QPR against Rotherham, and it's still 1-1 versus Luton and Birmingham. It's currently 1-0 to PSG against Leipzig. The goal from Neymar from the penalty spot.
Oh, what a surprise. The Brazilian brat, as I call him.
Juventus are drawing 1-1 with Fenerbahçe.
Ooh.
With Fenerbahçe taking the lead on the 19th minute through Uzni. And Juventus scoring through Ronaldo. Who else?
Exactly, who else?
Lazio are 2-1 up against Zenit St. Petersburg following goals from Ciro Immobile and Mario Parolo. And a consolation, or will it be a consolation, from Artem Dzyuba for Zenit. It is 1-0 Borussia Dortmund against Bruges. Who do you think scored the goal, Will?
Erling Haaland.
Correct. Assisted by Jadon Sancho.
That doesn't surprise me.
Also in the team, Jude Bellingham.
Well, I tell you what, he's having a really good season, isn't he?
Developing very well. And also, just to provide you an update on the other full-time scoreline, Sevilla scored in the 95th minute to claim the victory over FK Krasnodar in Russia. With Munaya scoring the goal. And it's currently still 0-0 between Dynamo Kiev and Barcelona.
Yep, and...
there we go.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
And obviously Chelsea 2, Rennes 1 as well.
Yeah. It's not Rennes, it's Rennes.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Silent test, I should know. Yeah, French. Yeah, so obviously we'll keep going round the grounds a little later. I'm really enjoying this one. Really, really enjoying this one.
I actually need to go, so it's up to you what you want to do.
Oh, right, okay. Well, in that case, it probably actually is a good time actually to wrap up. We've been going for quite a while, I think, but thank you very much for watching. This has been an absolute great one. I mean, it was a bit last minute actually that we were going to do this tonight, but I'm so glad we did because it's been an absolute belter. It has.
I'd like to come back later on, but that's obviously up to you, Will.
Oh yeah. To be honest, mate, I'm gonna be up here, so yeah, I'm more than happy to do extra time. Yeah. Oh, and Doug Noah said good stream. Thanks very much, Doug. No.
Thank you very much. It's been one of the better ones that we've had over the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have good streams and you have bad streams, don't you?
Will has been in very bad form recently, so.
Yeah, well, I like to think I've definitely staked my claim to be starting more games now by...
I've enjoyed this one. Either way, you're the gaffer. You could just put yourself in anyway.
Well, I to be honest, I think of this show as a team thing. You, Sam, me, and Ben. I think of us as a team, to be honest.
We are.
Absolutely.
However, I must say, with me and Will as a partnership, that's the A team. It's always the A team in midweek, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. And then obviously Sam tends to join us on Thursday or Friday, doesn't he?
Sam will join us for the review show, and he'll usually do the actual live correspondence of
weekend matches as well. Yep, because he's got other commitments, and he's probably quite knackered and looking forward to a rest.
Excuse me, I'm working for the next week. You don't, thinking about me.
Oh yeah. I was just explaining that Sam,
it's now of course, mate. 3-2. It's now 3-2 between Norwich and Stoke.
Wow!
Not Sam. What the fuck's his name? Is it Aaron Collins?
Yeah, it's because we're talking about Sam.
You put me off.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know who it is. It's scored the goal.
I will look quickly now.
No, I know, but I don't know what his first name is. That's what I mean.
Oh right, okay.
I think it's Aaron Collins, but it could be Tom Collins.
it could be Nathan Collins.
No, that's it. That's the one. Nathan Collins.
Nathan Collins, yeah, from former Hull player Sam Clucas. And Swansea player.
Are we coming back later on?
I definitely want to, because I really enjoyed this. That wasn't the plan, but I think we'll be back at. Let's see. So the matches.
We'll come back at 10 o'clock for half an hour, and then I've got to get myself off to bed.
Yeah. That'd be good. I can do that. Right, we will see you at 10 then for extra time. So until then, from me and JLIWheels. Oh, and I can't believe I forgot this. If you've enjoyed what you see, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix YouTube channel. And from all of us here, bye for now.
Yeah, bye for now. Stay safe.
Absolutely.